Not good. This guy is using his true methods. Lord Xiao Yan, be careful. Qing Yunkuan possesses a great heavenly seed of wind attribute. The second elder, who was struggling to recover his Do Qi below, couldn't help but shout. At the 4-star Do Xian level, the strength of one's heavenly seed and the quality of one's Do skills are critical to determining the outcome of a battle. Among heavenly seeds, fire elemental ones possess unparalleled destructive power, while wind elemental ones excel in speed and sharp penetration. A great heavenly seed of wind attribute? Xiao Yan frowned upon hearing this. At the moment, Qing Yunkuan was trapped within the purgatory formation map, his strength suppressed to the mid-stage of 4-star Do Xian. However, with the addition of a great heavenly seed, the gap between their powers would likely widen once again. Boom. I'm quite interested in your secret techniques. So, Yuan Ying, come forth. Qing Yunkuan's expression suddenly turned sinister as he let out a shout. The moment his voice fell, layers of azure energy surged out from his body, completely enveloping him. Strangely, this azure energy even carried a trace of sentience. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The azure energy was the manifestation of the great heavenly seed of wind attribute. As soon as it appeared, violent gales rose within the purgatory formation map, subtly weakening the power of the magma flames. What a troublesome great heavenly seed of wind attribute, Xiao Yan murmured, shaking his head. Even with the enhancement of the flame-swallowing technique and the purgatory formation map, he still felt the pressure against Qing Yunkuan. Yuan Ying is my great heavenly seed of wind attribute. Heavenly Wind Tempest Dragon. Moments later, before Xiao Yan could respond, the dazzling energy of Qing Yunkuan's heavenly seed began to condense in the void before him. A massive azure dragon, coiled in a storm, slowly emerged. Purgatory formation map, condense. Xiao Yan raised his hand and clenched his fist. The flames within the purgatory formation map coalesced into a crimson dragon spanning hundreds of meters. Though the two dragons appeared evenly matched, Xiao Yan knew his attack was unlikely to overpower Qing Yunkuan. It seems I'll have to rely on my spiritual power and soul power. As the two dragons squared off, Xiao Yan formulated a plan. Although the flame-swallowing technique gave him a temporary boost, without the use of sacred flame, he couldn't completely eliminate Qing Yunkuan. His only recourse was to draw upon his spiritual and soul powers, though his understanding of the former was still superficial. Spiritual power. Divine Motion Core Inscription, condense for me. At this moment, instead of activating his life-bound Divine Motion Core Inscription to form an array, Xiao Yan directly drew on the core inscription itself. Strange energy began to flow abruptly from the Niwen Palace within him. Under Xiao Yan's guidance, this energy infused the body of the Crimson Dragon. Go. Tear him apart. Unaware of Xiao Yan's maneuvers, Qing Yunkuan commanded the Azure Dragon shrouded in the tempest to charge with a thunderous roar. Hold your ground, Xiao Yan muttered, his determination unwavering. With a burst of resolve, he directed the Crimson Dragon, now imbued with special inscription-infused energy, to clash head-on with Qing Yunkuan's attack. Boom! As the Azure and Crimson Dragons collided, waves of terrifying energy rippled outward, scattering through the magma-filled realm. What's happening? After a prolonged stalemate, the Azure Dragon failed to break through Xiao Yan's Crimson Dragon. Instead, the two appeared evenly matched, prompting Qing Yunkuan to exclaim in confusion. Could this be a mysterious force driven by spiritual power through inscriptions? Initially, Xiao Yan had expected to lose this clash. Yet, to his surprise, the Crimson Dragon, strengthened by the peculiar energy, matched Qing Yunkuan's attack blow for blow. My spiritual power is still too weak, and my knowledge is lacking. I'll need to find time to fully explore its potential. After all, I have a feeling there's a resonance between soul power and spiritual power, Xiao Yan remarked. His eyes glinted with sudden clarity before he closed them, seated in midair within the magma realm. The luminous aura of his soul power erupted, radiating an irresistible pressure across the void. For now, soul power was his best option. While formidable, it lacked the capacity to completely obliterate a mid-stage 4-star Do Xian. However, If combined with sacred flame, its destructive power could reach a new pinnacle. Damn brat! What kind of tricks are these? Qing Yunkuan cursed, feeling helpless against the mysterious force emanating from Xiao Yan's crimson dragon. Even he felt a twinge of fear from the strange energy. Pavilion Master, look at that boy. So powerful. Qing Yang, a half-step 4-star Do Xian expert standing nearby, suddenly exclaimed, his voice filled with fear. This is the power of an immortal soul? How is that possible? Qing Yunkuan, watching the two colossal dragons locked in a standoff, was startled by his subordinate's words. When he glanced toward Xiao Yan hovering in the void, he was shocked to discover that the soul power emanating from Xiao Yan had reached the immortal realm. Pavilion Master, we can't delay any longer. This kid is too strange. One final strike. Qing Yang suggested after a brief pause. One final strike, Qing Yunkuan echoed. If this fails, we'll have to reconsider our strategy. Moments later, Qing Yunkuan made up his mind. It was clear that Xiao Yan and Xiao Gue were being targeted by Ling Yu for a reason. Yuan Ying. Within a few breaths, the Azure Great Heavenly Seed of Wind attribute power surged from Qing Yunkuan, forming a massive eagle in front of him. The giant eagle, entirely azure, had razor-sharp talons and feathers so piercing they seemed lethal at a mere touch. Go! As the two dragons faded away, the giant eagle, born from the wind seed's essence, let out a sharp cry. It spread its wings and charged at Xiao Yan with a burst of speed, leaving explosive ruptures in the space it passed through. Master Xiao Yan. Alas! The second elder sighed helplessly below. Flames rose around him as he moved to protect Xiao Yan. For all Xiao Yan had done to buy them time, the second elder was determined to shield him at all costs. Whoosh whoosh. The gaze of insight. Just as the massive azure eagle was about to strike, Xiao Yan's eyes slowly opened. Above him, an eerie, glowing eye of a similar size opened partially. In that instant, all flames in the molten world quieted, trembling in fear as if intimidated by the mysterious eye above Xiao Yan's head. The eye, roughly the size of a dragon's eye, was grayish-white with traces of azure flames swirling around its edges. Its gaze exuded a deep greed, seemingly capable of devouring everything in its path. It fixed on Qing Yunkuan in the distance. Gulp! Under its gaze, Qing Yunkuan felt a wave of dizziness overcome him, his face blanching in terror. Run! Without a second thought, Qing Yunkuan activated a spatial scroll in his hand, crushing it instantly. In a flash, the members of the Azure Cloud Pavilion disappeared. With a thud, Xiao Yan's body plummeted from the sky, unconscious. What a bold and meticulous young man, the devourer of souls remarked with admiration from within Xiao Yan. To combine the ghost-faced soul flame's sacred flame power with the gaze of insight, such daring and ingenuity are rare. The gaze of insight was merely a soul interference Do technique, capable of attacking the soul to a limited extent. However, Xiao Yan's fusion with the ghost-faced soul flame had caused a mutation. Not only could it now assault souls, but it also possessed a strange ability to attack physical bodies. This power was terrifying. According to the Devourer of Souls assessment, if Xiao Yan had not been using the technique for the first time, he might have obliterated Qing Yunkuan entirely. Still, you've overexerted yourself. No matter. With a sigh, the Devourer of Souls repaired the damage caused by Xiao Yan's reckless use of the new technique to prevent long-term effects on his potential. Master Xiao Yan? Moments later, the second elder caught Xiao Yan's body. Tears streamed down his face as he realized that this young man was their greatest savior. Despite being only at the late 3-star Do Xian stage, Xiao Yan had achieved what even a 4-star Do Xian like himself could not, leaving him deeply ashamed. Bring Master Xiao Yan to the cave for care. The rest of you, follow me to secure the crystal vein and search for the third elder, the second elder commanded. After confirming that Xiao Yan was only unconscious due to a conflict between his soul power and Do Qi, the second elder left 2 guards to protect him before leading the others toward the crystal vein. Second elder, are you all right? Moments later, the second elder regrouped with the third elder's team, finding them unharmed. Where is Master Xiao Yan? Lord Xiao Yan has temporarily fallen unconscious. Moreover, the pavilion master of the Azure Cloud Pavilion and his followers were all forced to flee by Lord Xiao Yan's power alone. Seeing that the crystal vein remained undamaged, though at the cost of many guards, the second elder sighed in distress. Now we can finally reassure the sect leader. This time, the Spirit Hall sent us an extraordinary overseer. The revival of our 10,000 Fires sect is within reach, the third elder remarked after a moment. Guards, take turns on duty and maintain strict vigilance over the crystal vein. Report immediately if there's any unusual activity, came a series of orderly commands. Meanwhile, the Azure Cloud Pavilion members who escaped using a spatial scroll were in utter disarray. Pavilion Master, what kind of sorcery did Xiao Yan use? Our disciples are acting as if their souls have been taken, utterly mindless and deranged. In a narrow mining area, Qingyang shouted furiously at the bazaar sight of several accompanying disciples behaving like they had lost their spirits. From start to finish, Qingyang had no idea what had transpired. All he knew was that when Xiao Yan unleashed his peculiar pupils, a destructive force emerged. Then, the pavilion master used the spatial scroll to escape. That's Xiao Yan. He's no ordinary opponent. The attack just now was likely an immensely powerful soul technique. Even I could hardly withstand it. As for why those disciples are like this, they were probably affected by the mysterious power of those eyes the moment they appeared. Qing Yunkuan speculated gravely. Let's retreat and regroup. This Xiao Yan is not to be underestimated. However, the losses we suffered today, one day, we will make that bastard pay back tenfold. With venomous resentment, the pavilion master of the Azure Cloud Pavilion led his disoriented followers back to their sect. Among them was Qing Feng, severely injured by Xiao Yan. This humiliating defeat ignited a deep hatred for Xiao Yan and the 10,000 Fires sect within the Azure Cloud Pavilion. Qing Yunkuan, a proud pavilion master and a late 4-star Do Xian, could hardly fathom that he had been so thoroughly bested by a mid-3-star Do Xian. Deep within the crystal vein, the departure of the Azure Cloud Pavilion restored a rare tranquility. With Xiao Yan presiding and the news of his victory spreading, few dared to covet the crystal vein. In the dim cave beneath the crystal vein, lit by precious crystals embedded in the walls, a faint sound broke the silence. Ugh! A soft groan echoed as Xiao Yan slowly opened his eyes, raising a hand to massage his aching forehead. The last desperate gamble had nearly backfired, and if not for the presence of the Devourer of Souls, Xiao Yan might have been half dead by now. Lord Xiao Yan, you're awake. Are you all right? The figures of the second and third elders immediately appeared in his line of sight. Where are the Azure Cloud Pavilion members? Xiao Yan asked, his fragmented memories recalling the moment he unleashed the soul-interfering Do technique, soul-staring eye, enhanced with the sacred flame. The backlash from his soul had rendered him unconscious. The Azure Cloud Pavilion members fled after being struck by your final attack. It was devastating, incapacitating several 3-star Do Xian opponents. Even Qing Yunkuan, that old fox, was terrified enough to crush a spatial scroll to escape. The second elder reported with evident satisfaction. Right now, the entire central region is abuzz with the news of you defeating a late 4-star Do Xian, Qing Yunkuan, while being only at the mid-3-star Do Xian stage. I see. Xiao Yan let out a sigh of relief and reclined again. Second elder, how's the crystal vein? Xiao Yan asked after a brief pause. Lord Xiao Yan, although we lost many disciples during the attack, the crystal vein remains intact. Moreover, your fame has attracted several talented individuals expressing interest in joining us, the third elder responded with a smile. Ensure proper burials for our fallen. For those seeking to join the sect, thoroughly investigate their backgrounds first, Xiao Yan instructed firmly. Understood. The two elders felt even greater admiration for Xiao Yan. That's enough for today. Let me rest for a few days before we sort out matters related to the crystal vein. With these words, Xiao Yan dismissed them. The combination of soul-interfering Do techniques and the sacred flame had taken a significant toll, leaving lingering side effects. Yes, my lord. The two elders nodded in agreement and promptly exited. Within the 10,000 Fires Sect. Sect leader. News has emerged from the depths of the crystal vein. At this moment, a disheveled guard hurriedly entered the sect's headquarters through a secret passage, excitedly rushing toward the conference hall. Where is the letter? Bring it to me now. In the hall, only sect leader Hua and several elders, including Fire Cloud, were present. Hearing the guard's words, Hua rose and swiftly snatched the letter from the guard's hand. Crack. Excellent. Excellent. A burst of laughter, accompanied by the sound of cracking knuckles, reverberated through the hall. Huayi's face lit up with pure joy. In recent days, Huayi had repeatedly attempted to send reinforcements to aid the front lines of the crystal vein, but every effort had been thwarted by Xiao Gue alone. This left Huayi with a deep grievance, while Xiao Gue offered no explanation beyond a simple wait, causing Huayi restless nights. The potential loss of the crystal vein would mean not only losing cultivation resources, but also risking the lives of the second and third elders, the sect's vital 4-star Dou-Xian experts. Summon Lord Xiao Gue immediately. No, I'll go personally. A moment later, Huayi couldn't help but chuckle, as if everything had unfolded according to Xiao Gue's plan. Heh, sect leader Hua, no need to trouble yourself. I've come uninvited. What does the battle report say? Xiao Gue's voice echoed into the hall as he entered with a smile. Lord Xiao Gue, your foresight is unparalleled. The crystal vein has been secured. And, if I may say so, sect leader Xiao Yan single-handedly defeated Qing Yunkuan, the pavilion master of the Azure Cloud Pavilion and a late 4-star Dou-Xian. This news has already spread across the central region. Were it not for witnessing sect leader Xiao Yan's terrifying strength firsthand, I wouldn't have believed it. Huayi's grip tightened around the letter, his excitement brimming. My elder brother's strength is beyond doubt. That's why I remained in seclusion, to prevent Listening Wind Pavilion from taking advantage of us. Now that the crisis at the crystal vein has been resolved, there should be no further opposition to my plans, Xiao Gue declared. During Xiao Yan's absence, Xiao Gue had exhibited a ruler's authority, implementing several measures that strengthened the sect's unity and morale. The 10,000 Fires sect will follow the lead of the two of you, Huayi responded respectfully. With them in charge, the sect's future seemed assured. My elder brother will oversee the crystal vein, so there's no need for concern. Our next targets are the Listening Wind Pavilion and Azure Cloud Pavilion. While the Azure Cloud Pavilion's strength makes it a tougher opponent for now, the Listening Wind Pavilion presents an opportunity, Xiao Gue declared decisively. What strategy do you propose, my lord? Asked Fire Cloud, the Great Elder. The Listening Wind Pavilion's strength still exceeded their own. The lovesick tree has appeared, and the pavilion's leaders will undoubtedly go to it. Given their status, they'll likely bring their strongest experts along. My elder brother will also head there, leaving their base vulnerable to attack, Xiao Gue explained with a smirk. We'll proceed according to your plan. In that moment, Huayi finally understood why both Xiao Yan and Xiao Gue had earned Elder Dilling's favor. With them in charge, even the appearance of the lovesick tree seemed insignificant. Within the crystal vein, a month passed quietly. Throughout this time, news of Xiao Yan's victory spread, bolstering his reputation across the central region. However, Xiao Yan remained in seclusion, restoring his spiritual power, leaving those who sought to challenge him in frustration. After a month, Xiao Yan's strength had returned to its peak. Yet, the lovesick tree, located not far from the crystal vein, inexplicably revealed itself ahead of schedule. This news quickly eclipsed Xiao Yan's fame, spreading rapidly throughout the central region. My lord, what urgent matter calls for our assembly? Moments after regaining his strength, Xiao Yan summoned the second and third elders and other powerful sect members. Second elder, third elder, I've gathered you to arrange for those who will remain behind. I must go to the lovesick tree, Xiao Yan said from within a cave, where a simple bed and a few daily necessities were illuminated by the crystal veins embedded in the walls. My lord, while the lovesick tree is enticing, it's also extremely dangerous. Allow me to lead several dozen elite guards to accompany you, the third elder offered after some thought. I appreciate the offer, third elder, but the power of lovesickness beneath the lovesick tree is highly unique. Moreover, because of me, our 10,000 Fires sect and the Azure Cloud Pavilion have become mortal enemies. I'm worried that once news of my departure leaks, the people from the Azure Cloud Pavilion will come back seeking revenge, Xiao Yan said worriedly. Your concern is not unfounded, the second elder replied, frowning. After all, aside from you, the pavilion master of the Azure Cloud Pavilion, who is at the late 4-star Do Xian stage, is the most troublesome opponent. Second elder, if you encounter an enemy you cannot defeat, crush this light sphere. It will help you escape the predicament. However, remember, if the crystal vein is lost, retreat to the sect and defend it. Wait for me to return from the lovesick tree, and then we'll plan accordingly, Xiao Yan instructed. Moments later, a radiant light sphere, about the size of a fist, slowly emerged from Xiao Yan's Do Qi Si. While its nature was unclear, as soon as the second elder received it, he detected an aura no less powerful than Xiao Yan's own. Moreover, within that power lay a faint, eerie trace of thunder. We will follow your instructions, the two elders replied solemnly, nodding. They understood Xiao Yan's intentions and complied respectfully. No need to see me off. I'll leave through the secret passage immediately and head to the lovesick tree. Second elder, handle the situation at the crystal vein as you see fit. Xiao Yan's figure suddenly flickered, leaving behind a faint echo. Xiao Yan was fully aware that someone seemed to be backing the Azure Cloud Pavilion. Having been outmaneuvered so thoroughly by him, they would certainly not let the matter rest. However, if they dared to provoke him further, their end would be utter destruction. Farewell, my lord. The two elders carefully stored the light sphere, then bowed respectfully toward the empty space where Xiao Yan had vanished. For the time being, the crystal vein matter had come to an end. However, Xiao Yan's journey to the lovesick tree, despite offering great fortune, had dragged the 10,000 Fires sect and even Xiao Guai into a precarious situation due to his conflict with the Azure Cloud Pavilion. The central region, a vast and complex territory filled with countless powerful factions. At this moment, a wave of fervor swept through the region, all due to the lovesick tree. The mystical power of lovesickness from the tree was unparalleled, and some believed that entering its core could yield unimaginable benefits. This prospect stirred restlessness across the central region, as many clung to the slim hope of seizing its opportunities. After all, such a fortune could elevate someone to become a disciple of the four great halls, reaping endless rewards. In the Listening Wind Pavilion, "My lord, this venture seems unwise," said one of the pavilion's administrators, standing alongside the pavilion master in the grand hall. Both wore furrowed brows, evidently in disagreement. No need to say more. The opportunities within the lovesick tree are far too valuable. I must go, Yang, she declared firmly, his tone leaving no room for debate. My lord, we've just made enemies of the 10,000 Fires sect. Though our overall strength is slightly superior, should you head to the lovesick tree with many of our sect's experts, leaving us vulnerable, a counterattack from the 10,000 Fires sect could put us in grave danger, the pavilion master objected. Rest assured. According to my sources, the 10,000 Fires sect has also sent experts to the lovesick tree, leaving them with no spare forces to attack us, Yang, she reassured him. This time, the gains from the lovesick tree will be immense. Afterward, forget the 10,000 Fires sect. Even the top factions in the central region will have to make room for us. The pavilion master sighed in resignation. Very well, but be cautious. Time is of the essence. Let's move quickly before others claim the benefits. Yang, she ordered, his spirits high. With that, Yang, she gathered nearly 30% of the sect's elite and set off for the lovesick tree with great fanfare. His dual motives were clear, securing the fortune of the tree and eliminating Xiao Yan. Yet, unbeknownst to him, the 10,000 Fires sect's involvement was merely a ruse, a ploy to lure him into their trap. At the Azure Cloud Pavilion, my lord, the lovesick tree has emerged. Shall we make a move? Several figures, including Qing Yang and Qing Feng, asked Qing Yunkuen, seated at the head of the hall. Qing Feng had suffered a humiliating defeat at Xiao Yan's hands, and many of their disciples, now mentally impaired, remained beyond healing. Though the lovesick tree is indeed a rare treasure, the humiliation inflicted upon us by the 10,000 Fires sect is not something we can easily erase. This time, as soon as their experts leave the sect, we will strike and wipe out their entire sect in one fell swoop. As the words fell, the atmosphere immediately turned quiet once again. In the Earth Hall, inside an elegant pavilion, a man sat calmly and steadily. This place was none other than Ling Yu's residence. Given Ling Yu's extraordinary talent, combined with his status as a perfect 4-star Docian and wielder of a half-domain, his standing in the Earth Hall was among the top. The people of the Azure Cloud Pavilion actually lost to Xiao Yan, who was only at the late stage of 3-star Docian. Truly inconceivable, Ling Yu muttered to himself, his empty gaze piercing through his residence and toward the void of the central region. Heh, I told you long ago not to underestimate Xiao Yan. This guy possesses the sacred flame and has endless combat techniques. Although his strength is currently just at the late stage of 3-star Docian, he can hold his own against some early 4-star Docian experts, came a sinister voice from within Ling Yu, imbued with a malevolent aura. Humph. Regardless of how he struggles, he is nothing more than a clown in my eyes. This time, as he heads to the lovesick tree, I will personally take action to obliterate the 10,000 Fires sect. Since he values his brother Xiao Gui so much, I'll make him exchange the sacred flame for his brother's life. Ha ha ha. A peculiar smile lingered on Ling Yu's face. If not for the Earth Hall's strict prohibition against participating in the contest for the lovesick tree, he would have acted long ago. Meanwhile, in the central region, numerous sects were also making tense preparations, readying themselves to head to the land of the lovesick tree. Among the top-tier forces of the region, stood at the forefront the Foreign Soul Abyss, a sect focused on cultivating spiritual power. Its prodigy, Song Lanfeng, had reached the immortal soul realm in the mid-stage of 4-star Docian at a young age, making him the greatest obstacle in the contest for the lovesick tree. The Meteor Gate, led by Hu Tianyuan, a brute force expert whose mastery of the meteor hammers had reached perfection. He was also a mid-stage 4-star Docian. The Ice Fire Palace, represented by Kong En, a fire element specialist who could manipulate both fire and ice, boasting immense combat strength as a mid-stage 4-star Docian. The last was Qi Ziwen, a disciple of Ling Yu from the Blood Flame Cave. Qi Ziwen wielded an eerie fire elemental heavenly seed and possessed terrifying combat power. With Ling Yu backing him, he seemed poised to claim dominance in the central region. These four were indisputably among the most powerful in the region. While other factions also headed toward the lovesick tree, they paled in comparison to these four. At the heart of the central region lay Soul Valley, a once desolate place filled with soul beasts and fraught with danger. However, since the emergence of the lovesick tree, it had become a gathering ground for countless experts. The valley spanned tens of thousands of meters, with its core shrouded in a pinkish halo that emitted a peculiar energy. Within a kilometer of the valley's core, the area was completely enveloped in a unique pink power of lovesickness. Under its influence, the strength of the soul beasts surged dramatically. Even 4-star Docian experts found it difficult to endure, often forced to retreat. Prolonged exposure would lead to unconsciousness under the strange effects of this pink aura. Far outside the valley, a temporary market had sprung up, bustling with adventurers who had braved the valley to collect rare items for sale. Many of these items, while of unclear purpose, fetched high prices due to their potential connection to the lovesick tree. Don't miss out. Lovesickness Liquid, the ultimate elixir to revive the dead and regrow flesh. Netherstone, painstakingly extracted from within the lovesick tree itself. Don't pass it by. The marketplace was alive with such cries. TCH, Xiao Yan muttered as he wandered through the stalls, searching for unusual items. Listening to the incessant hawking, he rolled his eyes in exasperation. At the 0-hour market, there was a clearing located at the very edge of Soul Valley. Strangely enough, despite the power of lovesickness covering a range of thousands of meters, this particular spot remained untouched by its influence. It quickly attracted many strong individuals who transformed it into a natural sanctuary and a trading place for those seeking to enter the lovesick tree. In the clearing, various seemingly shrewd strong ones carved out sections for themselves, with many choosing to take shelter here. This place also housed numerous treasures, although most of them were covered in dust. and whether they could be uncovered depended on one's abilities. Fire Phoenix Grass? After a moment, Xiao Yan stopped at one of the stalls, a hint of surprise flickering in his heart. You little brat, everything here is a treasure. If you don't have sufficient capital, it's better not to make any hasty moves. Snorted a middle-aged man guarding the stall as Xiao Yan squatted down. Fire Phoenix Grass. This thing can only form by absorbing the bloodline of a phoenix. How could such a precious item be found here? Ignoring the stall owner's words, Xiao Yan crouched down to examine the herb before him. The Fire Phoenix Grass glimmered with a golden luster, consisting of about 4 leaves, each seemingly containing some sort of special magic. This herb was capable of refining a 5th-grade pill at the immortal level, leaving Xiao Yan quite astonished. Senior, how much for this herb? After a brief moment, Xiao Yan stood up and inquired of the middle-aged man. 10 million, replied the man with a furrowed brow, glancing at Xiao Yan and then at the golden little grass before speaking again. He had no idea what this golden little grass was worth. Otherwise, he wouldn't dare to sell it. After all, the value of Fire Phoenix Grass could easily fetch hundreds of millions of gold coins in an auction. 10 million? Xiao Yan exclaimed, unable to hide his shock. Senior, I'm only offering based on my fondness for the grass, so I'll take 1 million. Xiao Yan pouted. As a seasoned player in this game, Xiao Yan knew well that if he let others see he was interested in something, they would likely drive up its price astronomically. Kid, don't think I don't know what you're planning. This item was obtained at great risk deep within Soul Valley, so its worth is definitely not low, the middle-aged stall owner continued, observing Xiao Yan's shocked expression. Well, never mind then. Xiao Yan replied, preparing to leave. Hey, come back? 1 million it is then. Moments later, the middle-aged man, feeling resigned, agreed to the deal, realizing that selling at least 1 million for such an item was still quite good. What's this thing? 1 million, plus this leaf as well, Xiao Yan said, pulling out a crystal card to transfer the gold coins to the middle-aged man, his eyes lighting up as his hand brushed over a leaf placed at the edge of the stall. No way, this leaf is not simple. This 1 million gold coins can only buy the previous herb. If you're interested in this leaf, I won't sell it for less than 100 million gold coins. After a pause, the middle-aged man handed the herb to Xiao Yan but carefully protected the leaf. This leaf was colorless and the size of a finger, with an oval shape and flowing lines that made it appear quite peculiar, yet it was valued at 100 million gold coins. 100 million gold coins? Senior, that seems rather steep, Xiao Yan said casually as he stored the Fire Phoenix Grass, looking at the leaf. With his powerful spiritual strength, he could detect a peculiar fluctuation emanating from the otherwise plain leaf. A fluctuation that seemed related to the lovesick tree at the core of Soul Valley. Little guy, I don't know its exact use, but it nearly cost this dignified 4-star Do Xian perfect expert his life when I was just a step away from the pink glow of the lovesick tree. I can confidently assert that this leaf is of significant value. So, 100 million gold coins is definitely not a loss. The middle-aged stall owner slowly smiled, a touch of cunning in his voice. He had obtained this leaf from deep within Soul Valley, just 100 meters from the glowing aura of the lovesick tree. The moment he acquired it, the pink glow unleashed an overwhelming wave of power that nearly erased him from existence. Fortunately, he managed to escape using his most secret skills, but since then, he had never dared step into Soul Valley again, relying instead on selling the peculiar items he'd obtained there. 100 million gold coins is too much. Let's lower it a bit. After all, it's like gambling. No one knows what's really inside 100 million gold coins. I'll take it. Moments later, before Xiao Yan's voice had even faded, a woman dressed in brightly colored clothes appeared directly in front of him. She pulled out a heavy crystal card and tossed it onto the middle-aged vendor's counter with a commanding tone. This is Song Lanfeng of the Foreign Soul Abyss? Xiao Yan raised his head, a trace of vigilance in his expression. Clearly, since arriving at the Midnight Bazaar, the names and appearances of the powerhouses from the 4 great forces had been the talk of the crowd. Young man, if you're interested, bid higher. Otherwise, this item can only go to the lady here, the middle-aged vendor said with a grin. Forget it. Xiao Yan shook his head, turned around, and walked away, heading towards Soul Valley. This leaf definitely had something to do with the lovesick tree, but with no 100 million gold coins on him and nothing valuable enough to compete, Xiao Yan decisively gave up. Miss, here is the leaf you purchased. This leaf is highly unusual. I'm not sure of its exact purpose, but it likely has a significant connection to the lovesick tree. The middle-aged man carefully wrapped the leaf and handed it to Song Lanfeng with a smile. This guy, is he the recently famous administrator of the 10,000 Fires sect, Xiao Yan? After carefully inspecting the leaf, Song Lanfeng turned and left the midnight bazaar.